Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about the things that will make you feel glad that your ex is actually gone. So I feel like sometimes when we break up from someone, obviously it sucks, obviously it hurts to break up with someone, especially if you didn't want the breakup to happen. But from what I found from my own experiences is that these kinds of situations, and it doesn't have to be just heartbreak, but any kind of situation that feels devastating at the time, often leads to actually a greater understanding and, much more personal growth. And it kind of wakes you up a little bit. It's kind of like in the Matrix where you take like the red pill and you suddenly find yourself out of the Matrix. Sometimes these things are good wake up calls to the truth about reality and reality itself and how things are actually working in the world, and what's actually going on here. And it just basically, it's like opening up a new dimension, and you're in a new world that you didn't even really know existed. Because basically, when things happen that are sort of devastating, like heartbreaks, it makes you question, it makes you sit back and think, and it makes you reevaluate things, and it makes you search for answers as well. And this is how it leads you to a whole brand new existence and a whole brand new life. So actually, I think breakups are one of those catalysts for change. And I think it's really, really cool when you kind of look back on your life and you say, yeah, that breakup, yeah, that sucked. But it actually made my life so much better. Like, I have a such better mindset now. I feel so much more free. I feel so much more confident. And it was all because when I had this breakup, I was hurt. And it led me to want to search for answers. And, this is what I'm kind of hoping will be something, that my viewers find, like people like you. Like, I'm hoping that when you come across my channel, I actually give you a few nuggets of wisdom that helps you search for answers and gives you a clearer understanding, and makes you more confident and more, happy in some kind of way. That's my ultimate goal, is for you, anyone who comes across my channel, to start living the kind of life that they've always wanted to. Because, we shouldn't have to settle for second best. And sometimes people come to this channel because they're in some kind of bad relationship, or they've just got out of a bad relationship, or they're crushing on someone that has put them in friend zone. And I hope that when they watch my videos, it inspires them to change their lives and to, start settling for better than being someone's second best or whatever it may be. What I want you to do with this breakup, is to see this as a new, fresh opportunity, for like a fresh start, basically. Because when you're in a relationship, and especially if it's been one that's been particularly bad, usually there's a couple of things that you have let go of. Perhaps when you was in that relationship, you stopped hanging out with your friends as much. Perhaps you didn't see your family as much. Perhaps you couldn't dive into your hobbies as much. Perhaps you didn't get to do the things that you loved as much, essentially, right? But now that you are not in that relationship anymore, you probably have a lot more time on your hands to actually go back and start doing your old hobbies, the old things that you used to enjoy. Or it might be the case that you go on a new journey and you start finding new things that you enjoy and more powerful things for you that bring a lot more meaning into your life. So see this not as something devastating, but instead see it as a fresh start for you. And when I went through breakups in the past, sometimes it did feel like the end, basically, of my life in a way. And it did feel like this very dramatic thing. But when I look back on it, from, obviously being where I am now, those were some of the, I'm so glad that those things happened to me, because otherwise, if they didn't and I just continued to stay in those relationships, then I don't even know where I'd be, but I'd know I'd be a lot more miserable than what I am now, basically. So, my life is so much better because of those breakups, because those things ended. Sometimes things have to end in order to lead you to greater destinations. So see this as a fresh start. See this as something new. See this as a chance, a second chance to get back to who you really are. Because when we get into a relationship, sometimes we lose so many parts of ourselves, especially if the relationship was bad and restricting in some kind of way. But now you can get back to who you were before this relationship even happened. And like I said, perhaps even find a greater destination for yourself. And another great thing about breakups is that now that you've been through a relationship, now that you've been through a breakup, you now have a better understanding of relationships, of love, and you may have a clearer idea now of the kind of person that you do actually want to be with, the kind of person that you do want to be in a relationship with and marry and settle with. Because sometimes, when we go into relationships, especially if we're very young, when we first entered those relationships, we kind of sometimes just settle for the first person we find. And when we come out of those relationships, we now have a greater understanding and thinking, okay, so these are all the things that happened that I didn't like. These are all the things that happened that I don't want to repeat. And now I can go into the dating world and start dating new people now that I'm out of this relationship, and actually find someone who is right for me, what I do want basically. I can try and find the things that you can kind of extract from the old relationship the things that you wanted, and be looking for those in a new relationship. And again, as well, extracting the things that you didn't like and knowing that, yeah, I don't want these things again. I want new things, I want these different things, or I want some of these same things, but not all of the things. So you can kind of now tweak your new relationship, whenever that may occur, into something that you do actually want. And because now you have a better understanding of what you do want and what you don't want and what to look out for. And that's another thing as well. Like especially if your ex had a lot of red flags, you will know basically when you start dating someone new, if those kind of things are going to repeat, because you know what to look out for, you know what you do like, you know what you don't like. So that gives you a better understanding, and therefore your new relationship, whatever that new relationship will probably be a lot better one, because you'll have a better understanding of what you want, and you will be ultimately happier in that relationship. And if you're happier in that relationship, then no doubt the person that you're with is going to be happy as well, because those things are kind of like things that happen simultaneously. Like if you're happy in a relationship, then you're more likely to be putting in more of the effort into that relationship, and therefore the person who you're in a relationship with will also be doing the same kind of thing. Of course, that's not always guaranteed, but it is more likely. Yeah. So these are the great things that can happen when you go through a breakup. And it's going to ultimately make you glad that the breakup did actually happen. And it might be the case that you're watching this video and you're still in a really dark place, and you're still really unhappy and still feel really heartbroken because you really didn't want the breakup to happen, let's say. And of course, I completely understand that. But just realize that, it's going to take some time, but things will get better. And I strongly believe, perhaps in a couple of months' time, perhaps in as little as a week, or perhaps it's going to take a couple of years, but eventually you're going to look back on the relationship and think, I'm so glad that I didn't stay in that relationship. I'm so glad that breakup happened, because it has led me to a better place. I found someone better. That's something that's definitely happened to me. Like, I'm in a very, very happy marriage. And if I didn't break up with those people, if those breakups didn't happen, then I would still be in those unhappy relationships, and I wouldn't be in the happy marriage that I'm in now. So, those are other things that you need to consider as well. There is someone better out there for you. There is someone who is going to treat you in the way that you want to be treated, who does tick all the boxes, who perhaps, isn't going to bring up the same problems or some old problems. Obviously there's still going to be some problems in no matter what relationship you have, but you might be able to handle them a lot better. So if you have this kind of attitude and you see relationships and you see breakups in this way, how, there are always, if you see this as an opportunity to grow, basically, that's really, really going to help moving on. It's going to help with your future relationships. And I genuinely think, and I genuinely know, actually, that you will find someone so much better for you. Because it might be the case that your ex could come back, and perhaps the relationship will be better and things will get better for you both and things will work out. Or you will find someone who is way better for you. But you got to see that sometimes I feel like these things are divinely orchestrated. And I think sometimes you meet people who are meant to give you a bit of a wake-up call. And sometimes breakups are one of those things that can do that. And sometimes it is the people, but sometimes it is the breakup from those people. But generally, these things are meant to happen to us. and they're ultimately supposed to teach us something and show us something, perhaps about ourselves, perhaps about the world, perhaps about something about other people. And then we now have a greater understanding, and we can carry that new understanding into new and better relationships. Maybe it's with the old person, or maybe it's with someone new. Because obviously there are cases where people do get back together and they do build a stronger relationship. But, it's hard to determine which of that it's going to be for you, because we don't know. I don't know what your exact position is. But if you see breakups as this kind of thing, like as an opportunity, as a fresh start, as a new adventure, then yeah, you're going to be really happy that your ex broke up with you. You're going to be happy that your ex is gone, because it's just leading you to a better life. And that's ultimately what I want for anyone who comes across my channel to start doing, to start living a better life, to start having a better mindset, and to start growing from the situations that have perhaps plagued you. So if you'd like to get in touch with me personally, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.